Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, males and females, princes and princesses, lads and lasses, men and women. I would like to welcome you to the Alex Bloodfire stream here on YouTube this evening. Tonight, we're discussing gender ideology and its effects on our education system, government, National Health Service, women and children. In fact, gender ideology is affecting everybody now, as we all are slowly starting to find out. I'm not sure heterosexual men appreciate that they've got to have biological men wearing dresses to be included in their dating pool, same as gay men, where they've got to have biological females wearing men's clothes and gay clothes, if you like, in their dating pool. I think not. So please join in by commenting and asking questions. I'm more than ready to answer them. Please participate. As a reminder, my name is Alex Bloodfire. I wrote Box Steel Sphere. It's still available on Amazon and in all good bookshops. It's only £1.50. It's £1.99, sorry, on Amazon. Yep, if you want a good spy adventure story, please, help me out. It's only £1.99 on Amazon, UK pound, $2.99 in America. So please, give us some support. I've done all the winners. I'm not going to announce them on air because I don't think that's fair. I'm not going to name anybody. So I've announced I've done all the winners, whoever, in the competition, and those books are on the way. And there will be a competition for the Box Steel Sphere. Coming in future episodes on the Alex Bloodfire stream. So keep note. Right, so as many of you out there already know, my Twitter account is locked and I have virtually no access to my account, to which I've done absolutely nothing wrong. I simply posted an article which generated a photograph, to which Twitter have wrongly accused me of breaching their rules because I didn't have permission to upload each photo. But this was, however, done after Twitter changed their rules on photographs, which they did, and that confused me, because does that mean that nobody is allowed to upload any articles anymore on Twitter in case it generates a photograph to which virtually nobody has permission, certainly personal permission? Is that what it means? I mean, is it to stop article share, or does it just only affect people like me, GC people, or people who have different opinions to what Twitter would like? Yeah. So with that ado, please join me on Gettr, where scores of people like me who have had their Twitter accounts banned, suspenders, locked, or for probably nothing. My name's Alex Bloodfire on Gettr. Okay, so my account name is Alex Bloodfire on Gettr. You send me a Gettr on there instead, and I've just wobbled everything, haven't I? Okay, so there we go. Latest victim of the cull is Lawrence Fox, for posting a meme of the LGBT flag, which has been floating around on Twitter for at least a year. It was an LGBT flag that was put into a swastika. But apparently he isn't allowed to put that on his profile. Whatever you think about that, I mean, do you really think that he should have been suspended? And I think he's been permanently banned. I mean, on a tampered flag, if you like, that's been on Twitter for about a year, because I've seen it. There's also many more of us on Gettr, from celebrities, journalists, US politicians, influencers, that have been kicked off Twitter too. So, they've also been kicked off Twitter too. So please don't forget us. Set up your Gettr account, follow us, and let's get the conversation over there. You'll find Graham Linehan, which is Glinner. You'll find Kelly J. Keane, which is Posey Parker, and Lawrence Fox, and many other household names. There's an author that's just joined as well. I can't remember her name now, but I've just followed her on Gettr. She's, we're getting lots of authors, celebrities, on Gettr. That it's certainly getting to be a big platform. It's got millions of people on, and I'm on there. You know what I mean? So please support me. That would be great. Well, this week has certainly been a busy week on the gender ideology front. I've been so busy. We've got cancel women, from women walking away from the biggest union. We've got anger at school over school uniforms. We've got even more cases, court cases emerging, which I'm going to talk about. And we've got a building society that's telling customers to close their accounts if they don't like their pronoun badges. I mean, that's... Wow, that's unbelievable. So I just noticed that Amy says Lawrence Fox is back on Twitter. I'm wondering whether to just accept my violation and get back on Twitter. I wonder whether to do that, and just cut my losses as well. But it's good to know that Lawrence Fox is back on Twitter. I'm very pleased about that. So brilliant. Yeah, that's great. That's fine. But Lawrence Fox is also on Gettr, so you can come on Gettr as well. Okay. But thanks for letting me know. Cheers. So we're starting on the first court case that's materialized in the United Kingdom. This is about a guy. He's Richard Heron, and he's waived his anonymity, if I've pronounced that correctly, to share his ordeal. He's suing the NHS over trans surgery, and the case first emerged. The case first emerged after he shared his experience on Twitter under the pseudonym Tulipar. He says after the past 4 years, it's become unbearable. It takes him 10 minutes to empty his bladder, a process as painful it is as slow. Any sex drive has long since gone. In fact, he says his crotch is numb, shell-shocked from the damage done to him under the so-called care of the NHS. I find that absolutely shocking. I really do. He's now preparing legal action against the NHS over an operation that removed his genitals. I find it deeply concerning that the NHS have been allowed to do this. It's not an isolated case. There's plenty of cases out there. I find it distressing to hear about it. I haven't yet seen a crowdfunder, but there probably will be a crowdfunder online. But if you do see a crowdfunder, please ping me and let me know. Ping me, get to me at Alex Bloodfire, email me or put comments under here or wherever. Let me know, because I would like to share it on my network, and I'd also like to throw a few quid his way as well, because I'm horrified about reading it. And we've got a second case that has emerged now. It's a rape victim suing Brighton's Rape Crisis Centre, Survivors Network for Discrimination. So she's suing, I'll read that out again because I don't think I read that properly, actually. So we've got a second case. It's a rape victim that's suing Brighton's Rape Crisis Centre Survivors Network for discrimination because it's refusing to provide women-only services and women-only support. It's refusing to provide a women-only support group. And when we talk about women, we are talking about adult human females, not men in dresses. So what happened is the victim suffered a panic attack when a trans woman, a trans woman is, as we know, a biological man, began attending a support group whilst wearing men's clothes. Now, you imagine, that you've got a group of women who are rape victims and sexual assault victims in a room attending a support group, and a man walks in wearing men's clothes and joins you. I mean, can people out there not see what the problem is? I find this, again, deeply, deeply concerning, what is happening to our society in Britain. Why has our British society allowed this to happen to women? And why are they still allowing it to happen? And why is nobody doing anything about it? I mean, I know that there are people now speaking out. Sorry, I do know that there are people who are stopping this, and obviously we've got this court case. But there could be a lot more. There could be a lot more people empowered sorting this out. Instead of letting women suffer like this. But I can't believe that people think it's all right to have, a man walking in with men's clothes on in a rape victims room attending a support group. I just don't know why this has been allowed to happen, but unfortunately it is. I think that there must be something wrong with the people. To believe that any of this is right. So anybody who believes this is right, there must be something wrong with these people that believe it's right, because it's clearly wrong. You can donate to help Sarah's legal challenge to secure female-only rape crisis therapy by donating to a crowdfunder for the case. I've put the link in below, so if anybody needs the link, it's below. I'll leave that in. I won't take that out. I actually did notice that she's put it up today, and I think she's near enough raised what she needs to do. I think it was on about 65,000 last time I looked, and she's only looking at 75. So she's only 10,000 off the mark. So anyone who can wang her a few quid would be really appreciative. The link's below. Just click on it, and that's that. So again, it's a shocking situation that's arisen in Britain, and I'm ashamed that this has arisen in my country, that, you know, Brighton can't offer any services for women, and they're just allowing men to attend. It's sick. It's just beyond sickness. It really is. And this will be all over the country. This won't be an isolated case. This will be a lot of rape groups across the country. That's how it is, unfortunately. Right, so we've got another court case. Okay, another court case on the gender critical front. So we have another court case. This time, Julie Bindel is suing Nottingham City Council because, you know, they've tried to, well, they've silenced her by cancelling her talk. So they've cancelled the talk for reasons which I find very silly, for reasons which are silly. It's not that I find her silly; they are absolutely silly. So she's suing Nottingham City Council because they bullied her into silence by banning her from giving a talk at a local library last Saturday. That's a Saturday that's just gone, the 25th of June. And this local library is called Aspley Library in Nottingham. She was due to give a talk about feminist activism to end male violence. The event sold out quickly because Julie Bindel is a very, very popular feminist. A lot of people like her because she speaks a lot of sense. But sadly, trans rights activists badgered and harassed the venue as they normally do. And unfortunately, the venue, Nottingham City Council cancelled it. The Nottingham City Council Deputy Leader, Councillor Adele Williams, and the portfolio holder for Neighbourhoods, Safety and Inclusion, Councillor Neget Khan, I hope I've pronounced that name right, gave a joint statement addressing the cancellation of this event. I think what they've said is some of it is quite pathetic. I think that they've suggested that she's very transphobic, and I just think it's pathetic. I really do. If you want to see the statement, some of this statement or all of it has been published in the Nottingham Post. You can find that on a link on my Gettr profile at Alex Bloodfire. Again, I'm not seeing a crowdfunder, so if you do know of a crowdfunder, can you please get to me at Alex Bloodfire on the Gettr.com platform, and we can. I'd like to again chuck her a few quid, and am I wobbling this again? Yeah, so I'd like to chuck her a few quid and also share it on my social networks so that more and more people are aware about it. I'm sure that she, as I say, Julie Bindel's a very popular woman, and I'm sure that, you know, a lot of people would want to help her out. So a great woman, a fantastic woman, and I like Julie Bindel a lot, to be quite honest. I very much respect her. Very, very good feminist. If she is, yeah, that's it. So, okay, and then we've still got another court case with Alison Bailey. The court case with Alison Bailey is still going on, I think, or it's still in thrust, I think. As you know, a lesbian barrister is suing a Chambers and controversial Stonewall. Hopefully, this case will bring more light on controversial Stonewall and organization, and I think really organizations, particularly government departments, will leave, hopefully, when more light's been chucked on how stupid Stonewall are. And yeah, I think we're going to have more government departments and organizations leaving their idiotic champion scheme and just sticking the fingers up to Stonewall. I'd like to see that, because there's more and more lesbians, gay men, bisexuals. They're all walking away from this controversial group. You know, they really are, and it's time that you saw that. It's time that everybody saw that, and it's time that your organization walked away too. You know, Stonewall, I predict, won't be in years to come. Well, they won't, you know, soon. They certainly won't be around in the next few years. I can guarantee that. So the next one is this one's more of a tribunal. So a doctor who treated trans children, whatever trans children is, that's children who they're trying to change their genders. I don't think there's any such thing as trans children, and that has been pointed out to me quite a lot today, that there isn't. Trans children don't exist. It's just you know, they're not. There is no such thing as trans children. And the doctor who treated these trans children online has put them at unwarranted risk or harm. What's coming out, the dear me, the tribunal. So yeah, So it's Helen Webberley, who ran a controversial clinic called Gender GP with her husband. Now, I don't know whether people know about Michael Webberley. Her husband, the disgraced Michael Webberley, has already been struck off the medical register in May this year, which was last month. The tribunal has yet to decide whether to impose sanctions on Dr. Ellen Webberley. I also read somewhere that she ran a clinic without the license. I think she started, I don't know whether it was Gender GP, but she ran a clinic without a license. You know, this woman is, I don't think she should be practicing as a doctor at all. I mean, it's really, it's unbelievable why we're letting a woman, you know, do this to children, you know, well, both of them, you know, both of them, Helen Webberley and Michael Webberley, why that's been allowed. It should have been stopped right at the beginning, but it was ignored. They were letting them do it. And that's created a big problem, you know, for these children, because I think the children are the ones who are complaining as well. So it's, you know, it's big problem in their lives. And I don't think, well, certainly Michael Webberley never followed procedures. I think we'll find that about Ellen Webberley too. It's really bad. And Helen Webberley actually has 10,000 followers on Twitter. Why are these people following her? I mean, you know, it's yeah. I'm just looking at that, Amy. Yeah, I mean, what they've done to children. I mean, I would say that, you know, stick it. You know, yeah, prison is. I mean, prison is the way. I mean, it, why have they been allowed to do this? You know, it's not. Yeah, certainly stick Michael Webberley in prison, and you know, when they find whatever Helen Webberley's done, yeah, her as well. If she's found guilty, then you know that's where they belong. They shouldn't really be doing this to children. I find it disgusting. I really do. So that's that. Now, the next one that came out today, I mean, I've been seeing Halifax on advertising online. They've been pushing those pronouns like there's no tomorrow. I mean, as you know, I'm totally against pronouns in your bios, in your email signatures. I've been against it for quite a long time, and I've actively campaigned against it, actively told everybody, and I'll tell people now, remove these pronouns out of your bios. They're doing nothing for any community. You know, they're doing nothing to what you think they are. You know, they're just excluding women, they're excluding LGBT people, and all it is gender nonsense. Please remove your pronouns. But Halifax have told their customers, you know, you're welcome to close your accounts if you don't like the pronouns policy of their pronouns badges. So that's caused quite a stir. Quite a stir, actually. I've seen quite a lot about it. And as you know, I don't like pronouns, so I have said that I won't be doing any future business with Halifax. Halifax will be finished. I won't be taking a mortgage out or anything with Halifax in the future. I won't be taking any financial products, you know, because Andrew Doyle. So I'm looking at this on Amy again. Andrew Doyle's taking Halifax to task on Twitter today. Good. I mean, there's been a lot about it today. Actually, it's been all over social media. I've seen it all over Gettr. It's been in all the press, all over Facebook. I think Halifax have probably bitten off more they can chew. I hope they have, and I hope people do close their accounts, and I hope that we see more bad publicity for Halifax, because as a gender critical person, I no longer feel welcome at Halifax with this arrogant building society. So goodbye Halifax. It's as simple as that. You know, if you can't talk to your customers properly, then I can't be bothered to deal with you as well. You know, it's awful. It's really unbelievable what Halifax have come out with, and I think they should be ashamed, really. But it's like I say, what we all need to do is to, you know, stop putting our pronouns in that, and what we all need to do is leave Halifax. You know, if Halifax want to, you know, go ahead with woke nonsense, let's leave them. So just a reminder about my book. I'll just give you a little reminder about my book. So I did do a competition. All the winners have been announced, and well, they haven't been announced. I'm not publicly announcing them, but they've all been sent a copy of the book. But the book's still available, and any support would be really appreciative. It's only $1.99 on Amazon, UK pound, $2.99 if you're in America. It's a good book. Took me 5 years to write. Any support would be really appreciative. And you know, if you want a paperback, you know, I mean, I think Amazon have put the actual book up. To be quite honest, it's been 9 9.99. They dropped it down to about 6.99 or something. It is back up at 9.99 in the British one, Amazon. So if you do want a copy of the paperback, I will do another competition later on in future clips, episodes, or whatever you call these chats, you know. So there is another competition on the way, and I will definitely do it. But you know, if you want a quick read, you want a good read, you want a spy read, you know, just go to Amazon. It's Box Still Sphere by Alex Bloodfire. You can get details off my website. It's all over there. Great, that's fine. That's much appreciated. If you would support me, that's great. So there's been a hell of a lot in the news over the last week. Unbelievably, a lot. I'm not looking in the right place, am I? So a lot in the news. So you've got Halifax, as I say. That's the last Gettr that I actually put. I thought I'd put other ones on that. No. So Halifax have really been slammed. You know. For introducing the non-sickle pronoun nonsense on the staff name badges, and they've told everyone, if you don't like it, close your account. As I've just said, well, you know, I think there may be you know, bitten off more they can chew there. So that's that on the subject of Halifax. So we move on to, again, I'll give Sarah's legal challenge a mention again. So she says that she's suing Brighton's Rape Crisis Centre Survivors Network for discrimination because it refused to provide a woman-only peer support group, and she's a survivor of sexual abuse. She's put a crowdfunder up to sue Brighton. The crowdfunder's below. If anybody wants to donate or share it on your networks, if you share it on your networks, that again is appreciative. You know, I'm sure she'll appreciate that. But I think she's raised most of the money now. I think she was, when I looked at it last, she was £10,000 short of 75,000. I mean, she's made, you know, she's drawn in a lot of money today. But I think a lot of women, I mean, men as well, like me, are very angry for her, you know, after what she's suffered. So there we go. On the subject of Lawrence Fox again, he's they've started a YouTube channel up called Reclaim the Media, and they're publishing, they're saying that the BBC should be doing this, and I absolutely agree. But I think we're not going to get much good things out the BBC in the future, and that's why I think we need to drop the license. I think when I say we're not getting much good things, we're not going to get any gender critical things on the BBC much. We're not going to know about what's really in the news about gender critical. And Lawrence Fox is publishing or making some films, and this one is called Groomed: How Schools Sexualize Your Children. It's well worth watching. If you want the link for that, just pop on my Gettr account. You can actually see that. That's that. Boris apparently supports the FINA ban on trans athletes. You know, so he also thinks it's wrong for trans athletes. That's men, biologically born men, competing in female sports. I did get a bit of rap for that because a lot of people said, I don't care what Boris says, you know what I mean, this, that, and the other. But it's always good when people like him speak out, because, you know, I mean, you talk of the Labour Party, nobody in the Labour Party, you know, very few people in the Labour Party are speaking out about this trans issue. They're tending to support it. I know we've got the good MPs that are speaking out, but they are few and far between. You know, unfortunately, they're not really supporting, which is sad. Is very sad, but that's why Labour will never get my vote. They'll never get my vote because they don't really share my values. So that's it. So thank you to Boris for speaking out. Really appreciative. There was a very odd thing in the news, and I found it very odd and very worrying, that the Windham High Academy in Norfolk has said that boys can wear skirts, and we're not talking about kilts, we're talking about grey uniform skirts, but they're not allowed to wear shorts in hot weather. I really think that this is absolutely disgusting. This is not really what I want to see. You know, boys wearing skirts, but they're not allowed to wear shorts. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and I think something needs to be done about that. I mean, if this had have happened in our era, I mean, I'm sure that investigations would have happened at that school, but I'm sure this is not an isolated case. This will continue unless more and more people speak out. So, as I always say, please speak out about gender ideology. Please speak out about things like this, which I think is very perverated. Please speak out about it. And if you can't speak out about it, you can do it anonymously. If you can't do it, if you can't do either, then please support the people who do speak out. Now, I'm just conscious that Amy has said that it frustrates me because it's not a complicated subject. Sports are either sex segregated or they're mixed sex. It's that simple. It is, and that's it. And it's been female sports ever since ever since women fought for it. It's always been male and female sports or mixed sports. You know, you have male sports, which is a lot. You have female sports, which is not as much. There's very little female sports that happens, and that's the thing, that, you know, female sports is a lot rarer than male sports. Male sports is big, female sports is not, and men are jumping in there with dressers and stealing, you know, women's rights, stealing females' rights to their sports, and it really is wrong. And how this ever happened was because nobody was watching what was going on. The trans lobby shoved it in all under the door, you know what I mean, got in there, you know what I mean, and then all of a sudden it's a case of now you've got men in women's sports. That's all it's down to. This is men that are jumping into women's sports, and they're going to ruin women's sports. And I say, save women's sports. Please do speak out about it, because if you don't, women will lose their sports. Now let me just I'm just turning my thing off. I thought I'd turned it off, actually. That's so right. Okay. So our next topic. Now, we have just talked about this. This is a doctor who treated trans children online, put them at unwarranted risk of harm. That's Helen Webberley. Again, what we talked about. She ran a controversial clinic, the Gender GP, with her husband, Michael Webberley. Michael Webberley's already been struck off, and we're waiting for a decision now on what they're going to do with Helen Webberley. I really hope that she doesn't continue to practice, because I'm very angry about what she's done. It's kind of appalling. So let's try and get her, you know, let's hope that they remove her from her position. I keep seeing articles now that are jumping up in the Guardian. Now, I think it is the actual Observer. I think it's the Guardian Observer. I don't think it's you know, the Guardian as such, but we've got an article from Susanna Rustin. I've seen a few articles from her before, and she says trying to erase the biological definition of sex isn't just misguided, it's dangerous. Yeah, it is. I mean, if we remove biological sex from everything, we're going to be in trouble. You know, we're going to be in trouble because everything's going to be that anybody can be anything, and people don't really understand how dangerous this has actually got. It's like I say, if you're out there wondering, well, what is this guy on about, this, you know, what is it about gender ideology? Do your research. It's out there. Do the research, or join me on Gettr, and you'll see all the things that we're bringing up. I'm not going to that again. So another in the news was Sharon Davis. She shuts Tom Daley over his trans comments. She says he's male. This doesn't affect him in the slightest. Why? I'm ashamed of Tom Daley, actually, ashamed of what he's saying, that Tom Daley thinks it's all right for biological men to go into women's sports, be given a platform to steal their medals, okay, and in effect ruin women's sports. You know, women fought for this right, and we don't want men, and I don't want men. Nobody wants men in women's sports. You know, Tom Daley ought to be ashamed of himself, coming out with pathetic comments like this, you know, saying that trans should be in women's sports, trans men, that's biological men, should be in women's sports. No, Tom. You know, and I think you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're not doing anything. Don't know whether you're doing it for publicity or whatever, but you need to bear in mind that the tide is turning. And you need to bear in mind that, you know, eventually I predict that males will be removed out of all women's female sports, especially important sports, you know, and I think the tide's turning. So I think, You know, you might do publicity now, you might think you're cool at the moment, but this is going to be remembered. And I've made a note of it, and I will always remember what you've said. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Tom Daly. The next thing that was been in the news is a trans skateboarder, that's another man, okay, who beat a 13-year-old girl to first prize in a women's female-only competition. He's turned out to be a divorced ex-Navy father of 3 and rejected from the Olympic qualifiers for having too much testosterone. Now, I've read, okay, that he's actually saying that he didn't have an advantage. I mean, this man, I think this man's, I don't remember how old he is, but he was either in his 20s, I think he was about 27 or plus. Don't quote me on the actual age, but this guy is, and he is a guy. He's not a woman. He's a biological man, okay, or a biological male, should we say? And he's arguing that he didn't have an advantage on a 13-year-old girl. Something isn't right about this. It's, you know, doesn't feel right that a man has just stole, you know, or been given a platform to steal first prize from a 13-year-old girl. I feel very uncomfortable about that. Something's not right. And this is why I'm gender critical. This is why I'm against gender, you know, against the gender sort of ideology that's been inflicted on society. It completely is, you know, out of order. So again, we've got the Nottingham incident. There's another article. I mean, that went all over Julie Bindel. I mean, and one thing that I did want to read out of this was in 2022, women are no longer allowed to gather in the public libraries. You know, this is what this boils down to now. This isn't just about Julie Bindel being kicked out of a library, but kicked out of the talk. This is about the fact that women are no longer allowed to gather in public libraries to discuss things, and this is what this is about, really. And this will affect all women who don't agree that biological men, you know, should be in sports, that don't any gender critical women. So it's women. Do you know what I mean? Women in general, you know, that's what, because most of us don't think that male rapists should be in prisons. Most of us in female prisons. Most of us don't think that, you know, males should be wrecking female sports. You know, so it basically means that, you know, if you think like that, you know, you're not basically allowed to give talks in libraries. That's what this boils down to. So this is a lot of women. It's the majority of women, because the majority of women don't, you know, they think like me. You know, they think like me in the fact that, you know, gender ideology is wrong. Now, another article that I picked up, and I can't believe that Wimbledon are now joining on the gender ideology bandwagon, and they've made they've gender neutral toilets have been spotted. Now, my question is out there, if you're watching this, or you're watching this clip later, or do you really, if you're a woman, do you really believe, do you really believe that it's all right for gender neutral toilets? Do you really believe in giving your toilets up, and you think it's okay to share it with men? You know, let me know in the comments. I really want to know. I mean, I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's outrageous that women's toilets are becoming a thing of the past. So is this the future of Wimbledon? Womenless toilets? I'm just gonna have a look. You have EA7 shirt for Stream 007. Yeah, I did. I thought I'd try and get something for it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's just a shame that I did see a backdrop which had the casino in, but I couldn't find any sort of spy sort of thing. So I know the UFO is just not the one to 007. I was going to do something else tonight with the UFO, but behind me, but because there was so much turned up, and I you know, I've decided to, you know, have a chat about everything else. But so your answer to unisex toilets is no. You know, every woman I speak to, the answer's no. They don't want gender neutral toilets. I do not understand why everybody thinks it's all right to put these gender neutral toilets here. Nobody wants them. No, women do not want gender neutral toilets. And I, as a man, do not want women to have gender neutral toilets. I just Don't understand it. Yep, I could use Box Steel as a background. Yeah, I could, but it's yeah, yeah, I could have done that. Yeah, I suppose, but oh well, the UFO got it, so we can do the we can probably do the conspiracy, the UFO conspiracy with the I don't know CIA UFO conspiracy. We can do that, maybe. No, perhaps not. I will think of it next time we get numbers. I'll think could do another stream, maybe. Yeah, I could do another stream. Yeah, absolutely, I could do that. Right, so let's go on to the next. I've said that I agree with our Nadine Dorris, our sports culture, our culture secretary. All sports chiefs should come together and ban biologically born male athletes from competing in female sports. Yes, I certainly think that biologically born males, athletes, that's men, should be banned from female sports. And I think this is happening now. It's starting to happen. I'm really happy that this is starting to happen because things are on the moving. Things are moving, on the gender ideology front. We are starting to gain traction, but there's still a long way to go. But one thing that really has upset me in this is the fact that they are saying that anybody who has not gone through a male puberty, i.e., if somebody transitions at 11 and they don't go through a puberty, that they will be included in it. I don't think this is a good idea, and I think it's putting pressure on, the medical profession to transition 11-year-olds, and I think this is dangerous. So we should just say, look, let's ban all biologically born males competing in female sports. Let's have mixed sports. That's what mixed sports are there for. Let's have a mixed category, if it makes it any better. But I really think it's very dangerous to say that it's all right for people who haven't gone through a male puberty, such as an 11-year-old. I think too many people will be rushed through, and we've seen what's happened now. Nobody really cares. They don't care about the children at all. They really don't. So I'm just going to read this. So this is, I'm a member of the FBI, the female bisexual Italian. Yep. Cool. Fantastic. That's great. I used to have an agent called Fully Booked Inclusive as well. And I used to say, that was the FBI. It was back in the day, many, many years ago. But yeah, that's cool. Fantastic. Right, so moving on. We're moving on. Again, in the news, it's been the man suing the NHS after his irreversible trans surgery. It is the first case of its kind in the UK. I hope it's not the last. In fact, I don't think it will be the last, to be quite honest. I think there's going to be quite a few cases on the way, and I really do support this guy. And one of the things that he said is, "Oh God, what have I done?" And that was after he'd woke up. You know what I mean? He realized, that what the NHS had done to him was unforgivable. And I think it is unforgivable. The NHS shouldn't have done this to him. I haven't seen a crowd, like I said, I've not seen a crowdfunder for this yet. I'm sure there will be one. But if you do see a crowdfunder, ping it along. You can comment underneath. You can get to me on the Alex Bloodfire at Gettr.com platform. I might get back on Twitter. I might accept that violation. I may get back on Twitter. I don't want to do that, but I may have to. I'm just worried about losing my account because I don't know whether people know out that I am on a list and I am being attacked by trans activists, and they are trying to get me off the internet completely, which is very sad. And it's the reason why I will be fighting gender ideology for the rest of my life until this gender ideology is put to rest. Because what this gender ideology has done is it's ruined. It's ruined a lot of women's organizations. It's ruining women's sports. LGB organization like Stonewall. I mean, they've really screwed up, and it's a real shame that you've got, it's a real shame you've got a Stonewall that have just treacherous to the LGB community now. I'm not really sure they're doing anything for trans, really, what they're doing, except causing more people to hate them. Right, so in the news, I mean, Posey Parker, okay, who is Kelly J. Keane, she organised an event at Speaker's Corner, which is called Peaker's Corner, and that was yeah, Let Women Speak event, which went down very well. I haven't put, I was going to post that particular clip, a YouTube clip, because she did a YouTube recording clip on my website. I haven't done that yet, if I get a chance to do that. But, you know, I'm just a fan of Kelly J, Posey Parker, and I totally agree with her. And I think more and more people, back in the day, people are like, oh, you know, Posey Parker's going a little bit far. And now I think more and more people are like, no, we're going to stick around, you know, we're going to stick with Posey Parker because she's right. And, you know, she's fighting for women. She's fighting for, you know, adult human females. Why not? Do you know what I mean? She's doing nothing wrong. And sadly, she's another one who's banned off Twitter, but she is on Gettr, so you can get Posey. You can come across Posey Parker on Gettr. So please join Posey Parker on Gettr, and you know, join me as well. We are on there. That's the thing. Now, I've come across another news thing that was in the news in the last 4 days, and that's the BBC staff have been told that there are more than 150 genders. Just show me the proof. You know, if there's more than 2 genders, let's see the proof. If you can't give the proof, which you can't, then can you not stop bragging about 150 genders, you know? And so Amy says, would you like some vegetable curry? You know what? I would really love some vegetable curry. I had some earlier, actually. I had vegetarian curry earlier. I didn't have it with rice. I had it, oh, what did I have it with now? It was with, not couscous. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I boiled it with whatever, I've gone and forgotten, because it was quite earlier in the day. And I had a lentil curry, and it was absolutely delicious. Got egg rice. I love egg rice, but I didn't have rice. I substituted it for, oh, it wasn't couscous. It was something like that, but I can't remember. But it was nice. I did enjoy it. So it was it was cool. Right. So moving on. Again, I'm just going to talk about this this young man who's had his sexual organs removed by the NHS. So he said, the minute I woke up from surgery, I knew I had made the biggest mistake of my life. This is what's happening to people, you know. This is really what's happening to a lot of people out there, and it's what's happening to children and the mentally ill. And it's quite a it, it's a real tragedy, because a lot of these people are really, they don't know what they're doing. A lot of them are depressed, they're mentally ill. Children don't know what they're doing, and they're just pushed through puberty blockers, then hormones, and then surgery, and they don't know what they're doing. And we're getting more and more people now that are waking up thinking, and I keep seeing this, why was the NHS allowed to do this to me? In other countries, why was their medical, you know, why was their medical profession, their health service allowed to do this to them? And that's the question that, you know, with all these detransitioners that are now materializing, some of them have really gone through that horrible surgery, and they're questioning it. And even a lot of trans people out there, you know, the transgender people who've changed genders, they know, because you know, they know exactly what these people are suffering, because there's been a lot of mistakes. I mean, trying to change somebody's gender isn't that simple. So the biggest problem is that it's not perfect, and that there's all kinds of problems that can materialize from changing your gender, you know, and going through, certainly going through surgery and changing your gender. My advice to anybody out there is, if you are mixed up about your gender for whatever reason, you don't go for surgery, because surgery is only going to be a patch-up thing. It's not really going to benefit, you know, the majority. It won't benefit anybody. You know, it's a patch-up job that isn't going to work properly. And I can honestly clarify that. I really can. For the detransitioners that are coming out, they know the damage they've done to the body, and it really is irreversible damage. And when people wake up and think, "Oh God, what have I done? This is happening. You know, this is happening." So, you know, I do say to people, if you're going to consider changing your genders, don't. You know, your puberty blockers have got side effects. Cross hormones are causes irreversible damage, and surgery can really damage your body. And that's what we're seeing. And this is exactly what's happened with this guy. You know, you know, this surgery has not gone well, and you'll find that on a lot of trans people, the surgery doesn't go well. You know, so if you want to change genders, take my advice, take Alex's advice. Do not change genders. Don't, you know, if you want to be non-gender conforming, that's fine. But you want to start thinking about surgery and actually being cut and having your breasts amputated or being castrated, don't do it. I can tell you now, don't do it. We've seen too many mistakes. You know, it's not working. Take Alex's advice, don't do it. So I'm going to move on. So we've got Andrea Furret, is a biologically born male. Okay, so that's not his male name. That's is now allegedly calling himself a woman, which I find unfair and ridiculous. He's going to be one of the contestants competing for the title of Miss France in 2023. Well, I've got to be honest, if you're going to put biologically born males in Miss France, I'm not going to watch it. It's as simple as that. I've got better things to be doing with my time than watching a farce. You know, because it's not Miss France anymore; it's a farce. So I won't be watching it. So I'm not interested in Miss France. But my heart goes out to all the women, the adult human females, the actual women who have, you know, probably gone to the gym. They've made such an effort, and they really get themselves, you know, worked up to try to win that competition. Sadly, you know, I think it's very likely that Andrea is going to win, and he is going to win solely because he's trans. So my heart goes out to all the girls and women that are taking part in this Miss France, because I just have a feeling that, you know, I already know the winner, and we're not interested. It really does need stopping. I mean, this is a women's event, and it's been ruined. And we have Mr. Gay UK in the United Kingdom, and guess who won it? It was a biological woman. It was a biological female that won it. Biologically born female. It's crazy, and she's gone up there to impersonate a gay man, and she's walked away with first prize. I mean, oh, you know, really? I mean, you know, done all these gay men out of a prize, but you know, one could say it's them people getting their own back, but it's women getting their own back, and it is to that extent. But I think if I cannot believe that so many gay people have stood aside and said, yeah, let her win. You know, it's horrible for the future gay people. It really is. I don't agree with it, and believe me, I'm going to fight for the rest of my life to ensure, okay, that this nonsense is stopped. Yeah, let me keep going. So, would you believe that the civil servants have been told to let self-identifying trans use whatever single-sex toilets they want under? This is under official guidance. No care for women. You know, forget women. Do you know what I mean? If a man says he wants to use the female toilets, that's fine. Forget the women. You know what I mean? It's appalling. It's just appalling, the world that we're now living in, and it does need stopping. And that's what I always say. You know, when I speak to people, please, you know, fight gender ideology, fight this nonsense. It is disgusting. Allowing a man who claims he's trans, you know what I mean, or is identifying as trans, who wants to use a woman's toilet, you know, is just totally this is not official, people, as well. This is self-IDing, people. This is not, you don't need the GRC. It's just, you know, if I'm a man and I say, oh, I'm a woman and I want to use the women's toilets, you know, yeah, that's fine. Just use them. It's sick. It's disgraceful. No biologically born men should be in women's toilets, and I will fight along with Posey Parker, along with all of us. We're going to fight to stop it. We're going to fight to get biological men out of women's spaces. You've gone a little bit too far by trying to eradicate women's sports, by trying to eradicate women's spaces, by trying to eradicate the word women. You've gone too far, and you've created a lot of activists out there. But we will fight. We will stop you, and we will be listened to, and we are being listened to. That's that's the way the world. So it's all kicking off now. I don't know whether I mentioned that in the last stream, but it's all kicking off. So the swimming ban increases pressure on sports to clarify trans policies in other sports. It is starting to, the tide is turning. We are starting to gain ground in sports, but there is a long way to go. This is not simple. It's not simple. We haven't won yet. You know what I mean? There is quite a long way to go. I'm just going to have a coffee to settle my stomach. Okay. There is a long way to go. There's a long way to go. And there is going to be a big fight, and that but I'm confident that we are gaining ground, which is what we need to do, which is good. And then Sharon Davis, a hero. I absolutely adore Sharon Davis. I think she's a great athlete, great Olympic swimmer. And she said, I was an Olympic swimmer. I want trans women banned from all female sports. Just exactly, what I want. Yeah, I want I say trans women, we're talking about men. We're talking about trans identified males. We want banned from sports. But I mean, Sharon Davis is speaking out. Why aren't other people speaking out? Come on, don't leave this all to Sharon Davis. Why are other athletes not speaking out? I mean, I've already said that Daly is appalling. What he said, he's saying that trans identified males should be in women's sports. We want to save women's sports. We don't want trans identified males in women's sports. And Daly is appalling by doing what he's doing. He's not a woman, he's a man. Well, I hope that he doesn't transition into a woman, but he's certainly a man at the moment, as he always will be. Do you know what I mean? It'll always be a man, whether he transitions or not. I just think if that happened, but this guy is just, it's disgusting what he's saying, and I really am embarrassed on his behalf. I really am. What a nasty guy to come out with something like that. Daly is very, very nasty. So I've got it right. It's Daly, isn't it? Let me just. Yes, it is. It is Daly. Right. So I'm going to have to check that now just to clarify something. Oh, I'll look at it later. Yeah, it is. It is definitely Daly, I'm sure. Right. So I've given another mention to the Brazilian feminist. She's facing up to 25 years in prison after calling a trans politician, that's a biologically born male, a man. We've got there's another case on that as there's a different case of another biological another woman who is also facing prison for basically gender critical beliefs, that she also believes that men shouldn't be in women's sports, and she's facing three years in prison as well. So there is a couple of prison cases where people can end up in, where people are facing prison for their beliefs on, well, for their basic beliefs in biology, for their basic knowledge in biology. That's what that's all about. So I'll keep you up to date on what happens there. Hopefully, though, with this Brazilian feminist, they're hoping, and she's hoping, that it will pique quite a lot of people in South America, Brazil, and the Americas, because people at the moment are not really, they're not really speaking out. But hopefully, this will pique them, and we'll get more people to speak out. So one last mention of my book, I've written Brock Steele's Sphere. I'm always on the flog. I'm always flogging it. So if you want a copy, it is the download on Kindle is $1.99, and it's $2.99 on Amazon USA, and it is on Amazon's all over. If you want the paperback book, it's on there as well, a bit more expensive. Please do support me. I am being attacked by trans activists. I do regularly receive threats and death threats. So any support is appreciative. It's Brock Steele's Sphere. It's a spy adventure. I'll give you a little read. I've got a minute or so. So Brock Steele knows his name and very little else. After a vicious attack in mysterious circumstances, Brock's memory has abandoned him. He has no idea why he's been hounded by a mysterious man with a gun, or why bad things keep happening to the people he loves, and why a strange voice is talking to him from the walls of his flat. When he's forced to go on the run to save his life, he has to decide who to trust, and making a mistake could be fatal. Can Brock find out who he is, why he's been hunted, and stay alive in the bargain? I hope you could see that actually when I was holding it, but that is the book. Yeah, that's the book. So please, any support on that is appreciative. It's only $1.99 download at the moment. It's $9.99 UK pounds on Amazon. I don't know how much it is in the US now. $2.99 for the download. I don't know how much it is on the paperback, but any support would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, should I say? So thank you. Yeah, so that'd be great. That's the back of it. If anybody needs to read the back, I'll just put that, and you can pause it if you need to read it, if you can see it. Okay, so that's my book. It's nearly time to go. So just to let you know that the next talk, the next stream will be on. So let me just get set the date. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be on Saturday. So it'll be on Saturday, the 2nd of July. I will be talking more about gender ideology. I will have more news stories. I will have more things to tell people. And as I always say to people, please, speak out about gender ideology. Don't let biological men ruin women's sports. We need to save women's sports. We need to protect our children from indoctrination, from the LGBT alphabet soup. There's a lot of things happening in schools which is very, very concerning, and not just in the United Kingdom. This is now worldwide. These trans activists and their mob have pushed a lot into our society. It is going to take a big fight to clean up, but do speak out, or support the people who are speaking out. There's a lot of us now, a lot of GC activists that are speaking out. We've had enough. I mean, they're ruining our society. The trans lobby are ruining our society. They're not doing anything for trans people. They're not doing anything for the LGBT. They're not doing anything for any community except dividing everybody. All that they're doing by pushing what they're doing is causing more hate for trans people. That's all they're doing. They're not doing trans people a favor. If you believe in that sort of thing, I believe that people are born male or female. If they change genders, they don't change sexes. They're still men. They're still women. And I think it's very, very unfair that laws have been changed. I think it's very unfair that rape victims have got to refer to their perpetrators as women in courts, in the UK courts, and even in Canadian courts and American courts. I think it's disgusting. It's so wrong. It's horrible. So what I would say is, please help us fight to stop this nonsense. Take your pronouns out your bios. And, if Halifax have said, if you don't like pronouns, you can close your account. You know what to do. I'm not giving any more business to Halifax. I'm insulted. If you don't want, if this is how you feel about me, I'm happy to not do any more business. So thank you for the stream, Alex, says Amy. Have a good evening. Take care and speak soon. And the same to you. Have a really good weekend. Speak soon. And thank you for joining me. And goodbye, everyone. I will just goodbye.